I'm completely new to CS. I've only been playing for 3 to 4 months, and the main goal is getting that FACEIT level 10. Now, it's not an easy task, and right now I'm trying to figure out how to practice the most efficient way. You know, what's going to make me a better player? What kind of maps do I need to practice? There's so many things to actually learn, right? The utility, mechanics, movement, aim in general. There's so many things you can practice. There is one common thing that people usually tell me to do, and that is try deathmatch. Do deathmatch, do deathmatch, do deathmatch, do deathmatch, do deathmatch. I really don't like that game mode at all. I think it's horrible to play. I did not enjoy it the first time I tried, so I was very reluctant to try it. But for you guys, I tested it out. 1 hour deathmatch every single day for 7 days in a row. Did it make me a better player? Did I get more rank? Or was it just a massive time waste? All right, let's start with the positives. Playing deathmatch every day definitely improved my raw aim. Even the first day of DM, after an hour, I noticed my flicks were cleaner, my crosshair placement was a little bit more natural, so I was looking at the ground less, I was expecting people more at head level and where they might show up. And I was reacting way faster in duels. So because you start panicking, you know, you spawn somewhere and you have to check immediately all of your corners all around. You shoot one straight in front of you, and then you instantly have to turn around because someone might be spawning behind you. So you're just constantly on edge, and it makes you way faster reacting to duels and seeing an enemy in front of you and panicking less. It's definitely a great confidence booster. So by the time, you know, I've finished my DMs and then loaded into ranked, I've taken hundreds. I don't want to exaggerate too much, but probably hundreds of fights, individual fights and duels, and maybe 1v2s even. And that made me just way less nervous seeing an enemy in front of me, or, you know, reacting to it or being shot at. Way less panic, way more confidence. Another thing is being more familiar with the map. This is slightly pro, but also slightly con. Let me get to the pros first. You do start expecting the enemies more often where they could be, or their typical route where they run. So you are more prepared for someone to pop out of typical areas, or, you know, where are they going to jump from Palace Mirage, or how are they going to run through connector? Where do you have to look on short when you're on B? Like, these things, you just get used to way faster, and your muscle memory builds way more efficient and faster as well. It's not a perfect replacement for actual ranked games though, because they are being played differently. Most importantly though, honestly, it is just a very solid warm-up. Instead of feeling stiff, you know, your mouse, your hand on your mouse, your keyboard, everything is not right yet if you go without warm-up into a game. And if you do DM, even if it's just 10 minutes or 20 minutes, it doesn't have to be an hour, you just feel way more prepared and fully ready. But overall, deathmatch also has some serious downsides. Number one, bad habits. And I noticed this immediately. Because there's so much happening, and because there's always an enemy in front, behind, left, right, diagonal, all around you, you start running way too much. And you start, you know, looking at places where sometimes no one would actually stand or sit in an actual game. Sometimes I even caught myself not counter-strafing at all because someone just ran in front of me, so I just runned and gunned, and it worked with the AK. And, you know, people were no scoping with snipers, and it was just a complete mess. So bad habits will creep in real fast if you're not careful. Because basically in DM, you can just run around like a maniac, right? You don't have to think about utility, you can take crazy peeks, spray everything down, you don't have to worry about, you just don't have to worry about actual team play. And that will just not work in ranked. And that already brings me to point number 2. It's super unrealistic. Like the scenarios you run into on DM have nothing to do with the actual game, or very little. Sure, you might sometimes, you know, be ready for where they might pop up head level and take a fight, you know, that's true. But how the game is being played is completely different. Because ranked fights, you know, FACEIT games usually, and especially I expect in higher elo, even more so than my elo right now, those fights usually involve utility, trading, smart positioning, rotating, timings, all these kind of things that are not relevant or even applicable in DM. It's pure aim, it's pure chaos, it's pure craziness. And then, of course, and I'm laughing because this was really relevant for me, and it might be for you as well, it can cause severe frustration and tilt before you even enter a ranked game. Because sometimes you just spawn and get killed over and over. You don't even get to take fights. Sometimes if you're unlucky, you spawn and there's 2 people ready to knock you out immediately. And even if you're taking a duel, there might be 2 people behind you or on the side killing you before you can even, you know, take the shot with the guy you were trying to have a duel with. You get shot in the back 10 times in a row, over and over. And instead of warming up, you're just gonna get tilted, you're gonna get frustrated, and you're gonna be in a bad mood. And then the first bad things happening in a ranked game might set you off or set you over the edge. So you have to be aware of that and really take a deep breath, find a way to fully ignore KD, fully ignore who's killing you over and over, or being shot in the back, or having unfair duels, unfair 1v3s, 1v2s, whatever. And just, try to vibe in DM and see it really strictly as a warm-up. And then this is also an important point, I think. I don't know how much DM is actually effective. I've heard from some pro players, videos that I watched, that they for hours on end every day. I've heard from viewers that they did at least 1 hour every day. But I think it might turn into a time sink if you play deathmatch too much. Spending an hour every single day on DM can feel like a grind, right? Like work, like a chore. And you might turn into autopiloting, you might get bad habits like I mentioned earlier, and it's probably not the most efficient way to train. For 7 days, did deathmatch actually make me better? Yes, my aim felt way sharper. I definitely entered matches with more confidence. I was way more confident actually, taking duels, and I wasn't as surprised, where people might show up and how they moved. I got way better at tracking, and because DM is such a high-paced or fast-paced game mode that people are jumping around like crazy. They're running around like crazy. So I felt way more confident tracking them accurately, or seeing how they move, the speed, and just taking those fights over and over. Hundreds of fights like that just made me so much better at it, in my opinion. Maybe it's a little bit coping or placebo, but even placebo will be a positive benefit, right? If I go in more confident, then there's a higher chance that I will be successful in my fights. Now, one of the most interesting aspects is, did it actually increase my rank? Did it magically make me climb? Honestly, and I'm not sure if this is because of the DM practice, or if I just got lucky, or if it's because of the refrag practice that I still did every day, 15 minutes every day. I don't know, but I did win a lot more games. So as you can see here, in that time span of those 7 days, I did 13 games alone solo, and out of those 13, I lost 6 and won 7, which is a positive ratio, +1. Now, you could obviously look more deeper into these games, and some of them I lost because someone went AFK or was rage quitting, and some I won because the enemy had an AFK or something, right? And it's a very small sample size, only 7 days, and there are so many other factors that play a role in how you play. But me personally, my stats were better, and I felt way stronger and way more confident overall in these games. And I think if I keep doing this, I will climb faster than I would without the DM practice. One more thing I think that is very important to mention in deathmatch, and this is kind of like my final reflection on it. It has its benefits and it's good, but you shouldn't overdo it. And this is the most important point. Try to be fully focused and only play 10 to 20 minutes, however long you can stay focused, fully focused, and break those sections apart and practice a certain style of DM. What I mean by that is maybe headshots only, maybe only spray every enemy you see, maybe trigger discipline, and only shooting once you are confirmed on the head with a crosshair. Maybe using only AD, no S, no W, just AD and counter strafing, practicing your counter strafes. Practicing one aspect in DM is probably going to be way more efficient, even if it's just 20 minutes, than 1 hour of mindlessly running around and having some bad habits creeping in. So I hope you guys enjoyed my quick little experiment. I hope you learned something from it. My takeaway, even if you don't like DM just like me, I really don't like it. So take it from me, it's still beneficial, and it has its upsides for sure. I really wouldn't recommend an hour a day unless you really enjoy it. For me, I think the sweet spot will be 10 to 20 minutes. Try to strive for a balance, try to go for a mix, and you and me, we're gonna rank up in no time.